In the sweltering heat of Las Vegas, the World Series of Poker main event is cooler than ever.
Good main event. Are you excited?
A near record-breaking field generated near record-breaking payouts.
Wow.
Now, with just 159 players remaining,
Come on, really?
Oh man, that day was terrible.
That's how they take me out, baby.
the 2018 main event is about to deliver the ultimate poker dream.
Started off with a bang.
The heat is on. Inside and out.
Works for me.
Just got real around here.
Yes!
Anything can happen. Anything.
Day 5 begins right now.
Bring it, baby, bring it!
It is back, and we are back. Hi, everyone. Lon McCarran, along with Norman Chad, Joe Stapleton, and a familiar main event competitor, attorney poker pro Kelly Minkin. Our part-time broadcast partner, Antonio Esfandiari.
If that ever becomes full-time, I am out of here.
All-American Cliff Josephy is making another deep run at the main event.
When someone already has it all, what happens when that person gets more? Life isn't fair.
09 main event champ Joe Cata looking for a repeat 9 years later.
I don't like people who take seconds when not everyone has gone first. Take a hike, Joe.
And there's the Day 5 chip leader, Romanian-born Harry Berkovich.
Is that an unzipped hoodie on a 56-year-old man? Is that what poker has come to?
At this stage of the tournament, it's a leaderboard filled with notable pros: Brian Yoon, Eric Froelich, Barry Hutter, Shannon Shore. Not a bad top 10.
You know whose name I don't see up there? Antonio Esfandiari. And you want to know why? He's probably doing Pilates post-flop.
I'm Lon McCarran. That's Norman Chad, the one complaining about Antonio. We'll hear from Joe Stapleton. Kara Scott recently had her first baby, so she's on assignment elsewhere. Congratulations, Kara.
You can win the pot, and you're not even in the hand, and you could win the pot. Shannon and Kelly. Let's just straighten that out. I'm not sure you got
Kelly. I love that we both have unisex
Shannon.
names.
Yeah, right. I like it. Kelly. That's he's Shannon.
That's Kelly, that's Shannon.
He's
No,
Shannon.
I'll be Shannon though. I like that name better.
Well, I think you have to ship the chips. You
Call
gotta
him
move those
Kelly.
chips over there.
Shannon Shore, a true VIP of the game and a headliner at this feature table as he pursues the biggest title in poker.
I feel great coming into this main event. I'm in the best shape of my life mentally and physically, and I've been working harder than ever on my poker game. I've had a lot of good runs here. It's so hard to go deep in these things because just to really succeed, you have to be in the top 1%, but that's just kind of what we resign ourselves to as tournament poker players. But I love it. I'm feeling good and ready to do it in the main event.
Shore with 70 World Series cashes, no bracelet yet.
Folded to Shannon on the button. Got a suited weak ace. Blinds at 20 and 40,000 with a 5K ante. A raise with his suited ace to 100,000. Now Kelly Minkin with ace jack. 31-year-old from Phoenix, now 3 bets to 320,000.
100.
Re-raised to 320.
Now around to the big blind, Jamie Kaplan, 5 million chips himself there, but he'll fold. So back to Shannon Shore.
If the cards did change, Shannon, there'd be a problem. It's a weak ace.
It's got the smaller ace, but the bigger stack. Kelly Minkin plays the game a number of different ways, and Shannon Shore realizes that. And Shannon reaching for those lavender chips worth 100K each. That's a 4-bet to 800,000.
Oh, what did I used to say about weak aces? 4-bet them, of course.
Ace-Jack does diminish in value when 4-bet.
FYI, the equal rights movement was all about allowing women to wear baseball caps backwards as improperly as men do.
Kelly does give it up to the 4-bet, and Shore will take it down. That's some poker.
Yeah, well done, Shannon. Kelly Minkin gets outplayed. I don't think we're going to be saying that a lot.
Back again for another year of the main event. You look a little different. I look pretty much the same, but the game just keeps evolving.
Well, you sound the same, almost pithy, almost witty, pretty much what I've come to expect from you.
I will spare us my expectations of you. Back to the main event. Norman, what do you make of this year's remaining field?
Kata, Josephine, Minkin, and Shore, among others. It's a talent-heavy field, plus Antonio Esfandiari, in a game that continues to force the cream to rise to the top. Also of note this year, no John Hesp deep run. By the way, is there a liquid in which cream will fall to the bottom?
You're pretty much meeting my expectations at this point. Kelly Minkin, despite handing chips to Shannon Shore, still above the chip average, which is about $2.5 million right now. Currently, the bust-out prize is over $57,000. As we get it now over to the outer table, Antonio Esfandiari is sitting there. He folds deuces and walks away from the table. Antonio seems to always have something else to do. All right, fold it over to Martin Sire with queens.
So is this a new trend? You put your name on your baseball cap, so if you lose it, it's easier to find?
Sire, 42-year-old Dane.
And how did Corey Williams next to him get onto this table? He doesn't have a baseball cap.
Raised to $85,000 by Sire with the queens. Now to Seth Foster with Ace King from Louisiana. Owns a couple of World Series circuit rings. Foster with $1.7 million in chips and Ace King. That is a 3-bet to $310,000. Noah Cantu with Ace Queen of Diamonds.
High school special ed teacher from San Antonio in his first main event. Sire, also a first-timer here, 42-year-old personal trainer from Denmark.
And Cantu will just call for $270,000 with his Ace Queen suited. So now back to Sire, the original raiser.
Do you know how I know his name is Sirelon?
From the graphic at the bottom of the screen there?
No, from his baseball cap, you imbecile. Have you not been listening to me?
Why would I listen to you? All right, the queens come along, so three-way action.
Make a move.
Flop is 10-6. Deuce, good flop for the queens and Sire. Bad flop for Antonio, who folded deuces. Foster has the action. He took control pre-flop. He says all in. He has the other two covered, so Cantu now would have to commit all his chips to stay in the hand.
I don't know what he's thinking about. This is an auto fold.
Sire waiting behind Cantu. Cantu folds now with the queens. Martin Sire makes the call all in. He's ahead right now, seeking the double up.
Queens. Don't spike a queen. No sweat.
I could spend this entire main event talking about proper etiquette when all in.
Two black deuces. 3 and a 7.
It's a 4.
3 or 7.
Sire still good, looking for the double up.
Spades. 7 of spades.
Tip number 1, when ahead, don't call for cards, period. Sire needs to dodge an ace or a king.
Spades. 7 of spades. Come on.
The river card is the king of diamonds. Martin Sire eliminated here on day 5 by Seth Foster.
Well, at least they won't have to ask him for an ID at the payout cage.
And he'll collect 57 grand for a finish of 159th place in the main event. Foster up around the chip average now with that pot.
Oh, sports talk radio show producer. That was a good job in the 1990s.
You know, and then what?
We saw Antonio Esfandiari miss out on his set right there. He's hanging on to his seat on day 5. Before we picked up full coverage, he nearly busted when his kings got outflopped by Ace King.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Sorry, I didn't mean to, I just can't believe it came.
He wakes up every morning the luckiest man west of the Mississippi.
He's lucky he got that king on the turn. Antonio Esfandiari looking at king-queen right now and a raise to 90,000.
Backwards baseball cap, backwards chair, and he makes it all work.
Antonio was under the gun, folded around to the big blind. Jacob Kipfer with ace-jack of diamonds.
Yeah. That bad, huh? Next hand.
Kipfer, 39-year-old Canadian, re-raises all in.
Wow. How much? How can I fold?
It's for almost 20% of Antonio's stack.
570,000.
It's taken 16 years, but I think we've found the worst T-shirt in main event history. I believe that is referred to as highlighter yellow.
Hop on in.
I didn't expect that.
What's that?
I didn't expect that. What do you got? Woke up with some yum yum?
He's got a call. He hates folding. He loves giving away chips.
He's cutting out calling
Oh my
chips.
God, how can I fold? It's like, but I really think you have ace queen.
Ace Queen wins?
Yeah.
Oh.
There's the call.
Congratulations, Antonio. As usual, you're behind.
I'll take it. Too buddy.
Which one mine? Jack, Jack.
You can switch if you want.
Kipfer at risk. Antonio with the king, queen, can still score the knockout, but no paint in that flop.
Not much there for Wonder Boy. Kipfer still in good shape.
Kipfer with this double up, should it come true, still would be short of the chip average.
6. I'll take it.
4 of spades. Antonio paying off already.
70.
What you gonna give to me, Red?
Tip number 2, don't pay off before the river as a way to possibly reverse jinx the river.
No! Come in, bounce that.
Double up complete.
Bounce it! Let's go! Come on! Nice hand. Where's my boys? Come on!
You can highlight that hand.
Oh, Antonio took the hit. Still has over 60 big blinds in his stack. Antonio chips are extra tasty. Kipfer still with some work to do here on day 5. The prepay doesn't pay off. Antonio takes a bit of a hit there. Welcome back to the Rio All Suite Hotel and Casino. 158 players remaining in the 2018 main event. Right now, Jamie Kaplan at our feature table is the overall chip leader. We've got a quad alert at an outer table in the dark ball cap. Cole Miller secured the 4th 9 in the deck. He's all in on the river action now on Nikolaos
I
Plattis.
think he stole that knit cap out of my sock drawer.
Plattis with King Jack to match that knit cap.
You know, it's amazing. I just don't expect this much headwear indoors. I can see if you're playing hockey, but this?
Plattis makes the hero call. James Opes folds, and Miller gets to show the world his quad 9s.
Plattis goes, yeah, quads will do it.
That is good for a double and a half up, and nearly an average stack now for Miller.
Miller has cashed at 2 of the last 3 main events.
He's got a chip count of over 2.3 million. Doesn't look too excited about those quads. All right, we get back to our featured table. We mentioned the overall chip leader is that man, Jamie Kaplan. Nice run here. Nice run in the 2013 main event for 150 grand. Sitting right now with over 5 million chips to lead the pack.
A 32-year-old born in Providence, but now lives in East Providence, which is east of Providence.
All right, get back to the action. Kaplan and 2 others have paid to see a flop. Kaplan with pocket 3s on the button. Shannon Shore opened raise with king, queen, and the hijack. And Mario Mosbeck in the big blind with 7-4 suited used his discount to come along. Here is the flop. Jack 6 Jack. And nobody connects, leaving Kaplan's pocket pair as the hand to beat.
Shannon Shore credits Jonathan Little and Eric Baldwin for helping him with his game early on.
He bets 95 grand to Kaplan now.
This guy just doesn't look like the chip leader to me. Maybe a bacterial infection specialist.
With 2 pair now, he comes along. Mosbeck finally folds 7 high. We're heads up.
Kaplan's gonna hang on with his pocket 3s on the flop. I get it.
Deuce of clubs on the turn. Kaplan's still good against Shore's king, queen.
Well, Shore is not gonna give Kaplan credit for anything, which is generally my stance with you.
You mean on the felt?
No, on or off the felt.
255,000. Shore further testing Kaplan's resolve. Both these players began the hand with more than 5 million chips.
No, Kaplan hanging on with threes on the turn. I sort of get it.
Kaplan is still good, though, with those threes and jacks on board. 9 on the river. Shore left with king high.
Yeah, well, one stab at it, I would have shut down. Certainly 2 stabs at it, I would shut down. But you cannot win this pot unless you're willing to take a 3rd stab at it.
Shannon Shore, a grizzled poker veteran, fires again. 605,000.
Shore betting 60% of the pot. And no insta-muck from Kaplan, who's thinking about hanging on with threes on the river. Now I'm lost, Lon, as usual.
Kaplan has been stickier than gorilla glue in this hand against Shannon Shore. He doesn't look like a guy who wants to fold. There is the call, and he will take that pot. Well done, Jamie Kaplan.
Well, if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. You cannot bluff someone who looks like they might be a bacterial infection specialist. And man, Lon, every time I call 3 streets there, my opponent has ace-jack.
Kaplan with almost 6.3 million, increasing his overall chip lead.
That side of the table anymore. I'm not playing with that side of the table anymore. No offense. I want to deal with that.
This guy either sweats a lot or he is part of the resistance.
Well, that table talk was music to Jamie Kaplan's ears. His table mates sit in awe at his play right there. He owns the table at the moment. At one point, nearly 8,000 players filled the Rio, many of whom were playing the main event for the first time. Now players like Randy Lack, Paulo Gonçalves, and others carry the torch, hoping inexperience is an asset, not a liability.
Become a professional Fortnite player, or maybe buy a head of hair as nice as Corey Williams.
Corey Williams is another first-timer, trying to turn his $10,000 entry into $8.8 million as we get a look at his bio board, brought to you by PokerGo. A firefighter with a knack for the game. He said the adrenaline rush he gets from playing poker is similar to the rush he gets from work.
If you ever get seated next to the poker brat, I can think of a good use of the fire extinguisher.
Corey Williams at an outer feature table on the button with tricky pocket 9s. They're like an undressed version of pocket jacks. Raised to 85,000. Jason Maroff with ace-jack in the small, blind 41-year-old from Atlanta.
Works in packaging sales, has 1 World Series circuit ring.
Played the main event several times, but this is his first time in the money. Congratulations, Jason. Now run it up. From the small blind, he's going to 3-bet it to $250,000. Seth Foster folded his big blind, so now back to Corey Williams with the pocket 9s.
Williams has position on Maroff, who has the bigger stack.
Corey Williams not going anywhere with that hand with position, and he does make the call for 165 grand more.
We're going to see a flop, Lon. That's why we're here.
And here is the flop. A jack in the window for Maroff, but it's all diamonds, a set for Williams. Top pair, top kicker for Maroff. Wow.
Yeah, top pair, top kicker, and he has 2% next to his name. That doesn't seem right.
Maroff out of position with the ace-jack. Williams thinks he's sitting pretty with those 9s, hates to see the diamonds. Maroff started the hand with 2.2 million, bets 375 with no diamonds. Williams moves all in with no diamond.
Yeah, Williams does not fool around. If his opponent is on a diamond draw here, he wants to make him pay for that draw.
Now, Jason Maroff.
Yeah, our court order couldn't make me call here.
And you certainly know your court orders.
Good for you.
This is it. Do you only have the ace of diamonds in your hand or not? I guess you just flop a set. All right, I fold.
Good read.
Fold. Show me.
I don't think so.
All right. Huh? I know. Huh?
We're at 5.
Corey Williams with a nice boost to his stack.
Oh, you didn't want that.
It was not a full double up, but a 50% bump gives Corey Williams a little more firepower at this main event. The bright lights of Las Vegas, like beacons summoning players to potential main event riches. This year, nearly 1,200 players made the money. Catching up on an outer table, Cliff Josephine, third-place finisher a couple years back in the main event with pocket kings. He's in great shape to knock out Kunal Patel all in with ace-jack. A safe flop for the Kings. Not good news for Patel.
32-year-old Houston pro.
A king on the turn. Well ended. Josephine's set has Patel drawing dead, seeking an exit door.
Good work, Cliff. Anytime you bust a guy who went to Duke is a job well done.
Patel's previous best main event finish and 3 cashes was 361st 6 years ago. He's got a new personal best now.
Good luck to you, bud. Okay. Good job. Yep.
One day I'm going to go to his house and wipe that smile off his face.
Cliff with almost $2.5 million now after the knockout.
It was fun. Bax got me.
Johnny Bax gets everybody. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
154 players remaining now. Average stack about $2.5 million. Back at our featured table now where Kelly Minkin is the headliner, and with very good reason. Her main event record speaks for itself. Kelly Minkin just flopped trip 10s with a 4 kicker. That's bad because Federico Buderoni flopped trip 10s with a queen kicker.
So in 2015, I got 29th place. I made it through to the end of day 6.
All right, now the turn card is a queen, and Minkin's drawing dead. Case closed.
I was very disappointed when I busted. I just was like on the verge of tears. I was so devastated. Actually being in that moment is surreal. So I think this year is different in the sense that I have more experience. I feel like I'm more confident in my game, and I'm just ready for the win.
And we're ready for more women in poker. Less than 4% of the entrants here were women, and none playing the main event any better than Kelly Minkin.
We'll keep it here at the featured table. Minkin with over 300 grand in World Series earnings with pocket sevens, a raise to 100,000. The blinds at 20 and 40,000.
Minkin, a University of Arizona grad, then went to Arizona Summit Law School.
Players at Kelly's table not quite sure how to read her raise. She can go with a bluff. She can go with a big hand. Around to the big blind, Ricky Pine.
You Shannon or Kelly?
Both.
Shannon's my sister's name.
So you like your sister?
I love my sister.
All right, I'm Shannon then.
I can't tell if you're Shannon or Kelly for real. I don't remember. I think that might be Shannon.
I don't believe Pine has a sister. I think he's running a scam.
Top set for Minkin. A wheel draw for Pine. Goes check, check. Oh, that ace on the turn is going to cost Pine. He checks again.
I would have bet top set on the flop. That's just me, but that flop check has worked out wonderfully for Minkin. Cole Pine catching that ace.
125,000 from Kelly on the turn, and a quick call from Pine. He doesn't look thrilled about it. Kelly Minkin with a hammerlock on this hand. River card 10 of clubs. Minkin's 3 sevens will carry the day. Pine checks again.
And the way this hand was played and the way the board ran out, 3 sevens just feels like the nuts.
Whatever, I like Shannon better anyway.
Minkin bet almost 80% of the pot.
Remember, she checked the flop. Maybe she has a bigger ace, or maybe she's just trying to bluff Pine off a pair.
Pine cashed in the 2012 main event for over 150 grand. Makes a nice fold there, and Kelly Minkin on the road to another super deep main event run.
He has 6 brothers, no sisters.
Kelly Minkin now over 3.2 million chips.
I think that should say poker pro / attorney. Check her billable hours for the last 6 months.
From the featured table, we head out into the field where Frederick Brink on the right, who managed to turn 10-8 into aces crackers. Those aces held by Brian Altman on the left on the completed board. Brink bet 810,000 with his king high straight.
Altman, 29-year-old Massachusetts pro. Brink, 35-year-old from Denmark.
And Altman raises to put Brink all in.
Wow. Wow. This is for Brink's main event life. Spades got there. A higher straight is also out there. Altman emboldened to make this play with the ace of spades in his hand.
Oh, Brink from Denmark thinks something might be rotten.
He's a poker player and restaurant owner there.
As Brink thinks, we'll show you what happened back on day 4. Altman picked off a bluff from one of the most intimidating players in the game, your guy, Phil Ivey.
Yeah, my guy bluff shoved on the river with pocket nines. Altman thinking a long time with top 2 pair.
He made the correct call, and Ivey made his exit from the main event on day 4.
Yeah, thanks for coming, buddy. And don't forget to take off your headphones when you go to the cage to cash.
4 cashes at this World Series for Ivey, including in the Colossus. Altman using that Ivey move here against Brink now.
Well, here he has turned pocket aces into a bluff shove on the river.
Frederick Brink, after lots of thought, makes the call, and he doubles into the chip lead.
That was a great play by Altman. That was a great call by Brink.
Boy, the mantra of No Limit Texas Hold'em is make your opponent squirm. Altman did that, but Brink was up to the task. He's now the man to beat.
The best poker content on the internet.
Your super high roller bowl 7 champion.
Oh, yeah.
Wheels are coming off.
That's the craziest hand I've ever seen. What was that bite?
Go to get.pokergo.com/YT24 for $20 off a new annual subscription.
Frederick Brink was put in a tough position, but after some careful deliberation, he came to the right conclusion. A huge double-up gives Brink a whole bunch of new ammunition. During the break, our Joe Stapleton caught up with the new chip leader.
Frederick was involved in a major hand today with Brian Altman. Frederick went into the tank for 15 minutes. Fred, when you're in the tank that long, what are you thinking about for 15 minutes?
Look at that clock on Fred's answer here. Whenever you're.
This is going to sound like a backhanded compliment, but it's not. That might be Joe Stapleton's greatest interview ever.
Joe called the clock on an interview subject. I wish I had those guts. Brink has won a lot of money around the world in poker, but little success in the U.S. That could change very soon. Let's get to an outer table. We find poker pro Barry Hutter. He's had a lot of poker success as well, and now trying to find success on the links.
When I'm not playing poker, I've taken up golf in the last 2 years. It's a real fun challenge. It's kind of like poker. It's a lot of a mental game, and it's a great game. Just everything you do is always your fault, and just nobody to blame but yourself.
Hutter from the cutoff, open raise with 9-8 of hearts.
31-year-old Las Vegas pro won a bracelet in 2015.
Now Corey Williams on the button with a weak ace and does the right thing with a weak ace. Jason Maroff in the small blind with a big ace, ace-queen.
Maroff won his circuit ring in 2016 at Harris Cherokee in a field of 984.
Maroff working with a stack about $1 million below average. He makes the call. Foster folds his big blind. So we're heads up, Maroff and Hutter.
Hutter likes to go with the white t-shirt to cut down on the time it takes to make clothing decisions every morning.
Not a bad choice. The flop 8-5 trade top pair for Hutter. Ace-queen for Maroff in need. Maroff checks.
Well, when you're raised with 9-8 and flop top pair, you bet it. I know that much. I also know the names of at least 35 state capitals.
75,000 from Hutter. Maroff comes along after his check.
They make t-shirts that are supposed to be untucked. Hats that are meant to be worn backwards has got to be next, no?
Another tray on the turn. 2 pair for Hutter now. Maroff checks again. Hutter checks back.
Pot control from Hutter, or maybe some deception.
10 of hearts on the end, and so Hutter is best after raising with 9-8. Maroff checks the third time.
And Hutter reasonably comfortable now that his 8s are best.
And with the 8s and the trays on board, he bets 305,000.
Maroff confused by Hutter's stutter step. He bet the flop, checked the turn. It's possible Hutter missed a spade or straight draw and is just trying to buy the pot here.
As he gets the call from Maroff. And Hutter will take that pot of over 1 million.
Yeah, this guy is not just a pros pro. He's a pros pro.
Indeed he is. Norman sitting with almost 6 million chips here on day 5 of the main event. For Maroff, well, his hero call did not work out, digging a deeper hole for himself, while Barry Hutter stacks his newly won chips. Day 5 of the World Series of Poker main event, 7,874 entrants, the second largest in history. One of those entrants, talented pro Ben Yu on the far left, might be heading out the door. His eights against the 2 queens of Peter Lee, now 3 queens of Peter Lee. Lee on the far right. As they look at the turn card, another queen, quad queens for Lee, and Yu is out.
What a fine player Ben Yu is. 11 or more cashes in each of the last 3 World Series.
This 2-time bracelet winner will have to wait to earn bracelet number 3. For Lee, a poker pro from Jacksonville, Florida, he adds almost $1.5 million to his stack. There's top pro Sean Deeb. He's got nearly 1.9 million chips in the main event. Picked up his 3rd bracelet just before the main event.
Every time I see a wedding ring on Sean's hand, I think that can't be right.
Deeb currently second on the Player of the Year race. 5-time bracelet winner John Hennigan leading the way. With World Series of Poker Europe still on the calendar, this race is far from over.
By the way, our defending champ Scott Blumstein busted on day 1, but the youngest champ ever, Joe Catta, still in the hunt.
Back at the featured table, Kelly Minkin in the big blind looks down at Queen Jack offsuit. Ahmed Amin opened for 90,000 with a couple of tens. Kelly calls for 50K more, and these two will be heads up. Minkin with a bigger stack by a couple of million. Here is the flop. It is a low ball flop. Minkin has the action. 2 overcards to the board and to Amin's leading pocket tens. She checks it.
Amin, 44-year-old Egyptian-born Seattle pro, has a grad school degree from Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute for Computer Science. I passed on that place. I didn't like the parking situation.
Despite that degree, Amin is playing poker for a living. He bets 150,000.
Amin looks like he has pocket tens to me. Kelly got no piece of that flop.
And what does Kelly do with no piece of that flop? Raises the action to 400,000.
Check raise on the flop usually signals a very strong hand. In this case, it's very squadouche.
And Amin meets that check raise with a raise all in, and Kelly folds immediately.
Well, there's a reason this man has a poker coaching blog.
Well done, sir. Kelly turned up the heat on Amin, but he had a real hand and a shorter stack. He wasn't going anywhere.
Kelly Minkin plays fast, and occasionally she is caught speeding.
And the man with the radar gun that time, Ahmed Amin, with a chip count of almost 1.7 million. Time to start building a bigger stack, sir. To an outer table here in the venerable Amazon room. He's got a banner in here. He's still in the game. You mentioned him, Joe Catta with pocket jacks, called the all-in of Kenneth Watson on Joe's right. He's got ace-king.
The 09 champ trying to knock out the Jamaican.
Catta still good over the flop and the turn. The river card is the 3 of clubs. Ace-king fails Watson. His main event comes to a close at the hands of the past champ, Joe Catta. Watson will collect over 57 grand. Catta collects over 700,000 new chips.
They call him the kid, but he's all grown up.
Earlier in this World Series, he finished second in an event, then won the next one. Back to Brian Altman looking to rebuild after losing 3 million chips holding pocket aces. Altman with trip deuces. Rich Zhu is a long shot after the turn. Altman reaching. That's 325,000. Zeus says all in, and a quick call from Altman.
Big slip up from Zoo in the process of losing half his stack to Altman. Only a jack would bust Altman.
The river card, the 6 of diamonds. Altman scores the pot, takes a big step back to being whole again. He was at 5 million earlier. Rich Zoo takes the hit. Altman now up to almost 3 million, but still work to do. A misstep for Rich Zoo as Brian Altman climbs back to relevance. Day 5 continues in a moment. It's been a long summer for many of the remaining players, but an even deeper run here. The main event would be a nice way to finish it off. One of our Player of the Year candidates, Paul Volpe, has just been knocked out. Volpe won his 3rd bracelet this summer, 2 final tables, winning almost 900 grand total.
And he's leaving his Fiji water behind. I like that. They usually take the beverage. Volpe knows he can buy another bottle anytime he wants.
Volpe done in by one-time chip leader here on day 5, Harry Berkovich, who's now up to $6.5 million as Harry stacks his newest winnings. Let us travel back to the featured table. Kelly Minkin and Henrik Hecklin both flop straight draws. Minkin with a backdoor flush draw. Hecklin is best with ace high at the moment. Minkin checked it, needing her opponent's kicker for a straight. Hecklin bets 75 grand.
How do you follow all that?
It's amazing, isn't it? So much going on when all the cards are black. Kelly called for 75,000. 7 of diamonds on the turn.
Cheyenne, Lon.
Cheyenne what?
It's the state capital of Wyoming.
I don't care. We're in the middle of the main event, Norman.
Oh, well, tell that to the good people of Wyoming the next time you're there.
Anyway, the 9 pairs Kelly on the river may allow her to take this pot, though there are 3 spades out there complicating things. Kelly checks again.
Kelly would love to get the showdown without putting another chip in the pot. But in the America I grew up in, you've got to pay to get the showdown.
And it looks like that's exactly what Hecklin is thinking. Testing Kelly here now to the tune of 500,000.
Hecklin overbets the pot. He makes it look like a bluff because, well, it's a bluff. But the flush got there, the straight got there. Can Kelly Minkin call here?
Hecklin trying to out Minkin. Kelly getting a taste of her own medicine, does make the call and will win that pot.
Turn him over.
A nice call from Kelly Minkin.
Kelly Minkin, ladies and gentlemen.
She's back over $3 million. She's had 5 other cashes at this summer's World Series of Poker. Next door, we have an all-in and call. Rodin Talebi on the right and the striped shirt at risk with jacks. Michael Dyer in the headphones and seat 9 and blue sweatshirt has aces. He's good so far. The river card, the 9 of diamonds, is no good for Talebi, and he is our latest victim.
Pocket jacks meet their inevitable demise, and the 42-year-old Dallas attorney must take his leave.
And the Houston Poker Pro scores a nice pot with aces to keep his main event run full speed ahead.
I like the balloon sweatshirt.
Watch the biggest live events in poker throughout the year, including the World Series of Poker, World Poker Tour, Super High Roller Bowl, and more, exclusively on PokerGo. Subscribe today at PokerGo.com. Well, this outer featured table is going to be moved into the field, but there is a hand in progress. The man in the highlight yellow shirt, Canadian Jacob Kipfer, has raised with aces. He says goodbye to Antonio for the moment. Bas de Laat, the Dutch pro, in the big blind with 8-6 off amid the hubbub, makes the call. And talk about big blind special, 8-6 deuce in the flop for de Laat.
It's as if everyone has run away to avoid the horror that is unfolding for pocket aces.
Indeed. De Laat checked. Kipfer bet 75 grand with his pocket aces. And what a blindside moment this is as De Laat raises to 210,000.
De Laat, 29-year-old pro from the Netherlands, with the check raise here on the flop. Kipfer might read it as a draw.
Both these guys with shorter stacks in need of revival. And Kipfer moves all in.
Pierre, Lon.
Pierre?
Capital South Dakota.
Now, we've got an all in here, Norman.
Oh, well, tell that to the good people of South Dakota.
De Laat with his flop 2 pair sees the aces that he's about to crack. Kipfer in trouble.
Whoa! I'm out! Brutal. That's pretty sick. I'm done. He's 6'8".
Nah, he's got outs.
4 of spades, no immediate help for Kipfer. The river card fails him as well, and Kipfer's main event story comes to a close.
Don't think he's going to highlight that hand.
We welcome Chippy to our World Series team. 132 players remain, 3 million, just about average. Back to the bright lights of our featured table. Henrik Hecklin opened with 5-4 of diamonds. Kelly Minkin has 10-8 of diamonds.
Madison, Lon.
Yes, Norman, Madison is the capital of Wisconsin.
No, I was thinking of Oscar Madison from The Odd Couple. I love sports writers.
Sometimes I wish you never left sports writing. Minkin made the call. Kaplan with 10-9 suited comes along. Mosbeck has his own suited connectors on the button.
Mosbeck played pro soccer, quit 6 months ago, decided he didn't want to do it for the next 15 years.
A lot of action in front of him with suited connectors, and Mosbeck comes along as well from the button. Ahmed Amin in the small blind with monster suited cards, ace, queen of hearts.
6.5 to 1 on a call here. He's gonna play, but I'd like to see a 3-bet here, to be honest with you. Squeeze! Squeeze!
Raise.
Oh, he has announced raise now. How much?
Oh yeah, squeeze!
625.
625,000 hefty raise, but with 4 others already in, it is worthy.
Oh yeah, this is definitely gonna clear out the shoe clerks and crumb bums. Pine, what are you thinking about, son? You should be thinking about the 6 brothers you have at home.
Well, he was getting great odds until that 3-bet.
Bye-bye.
After Minkin's fold, it's to Jamie Kaplan.
Bye-bye. I said bye-bye.
Kaplan with 10-9 suited. It plays so well against so many hands. And he's going to come along.
Kaplan prefers hello.
Mosbeck folds, so Amin does his job well, gets himself heads up against the lesser hand. Here is the flop. 8-8-7. Oh, Minkin folded an 8. Amin with ace high in the nut flush draw. Kaplan open-ended and a backdoor flush draw.
All in.
All in.
And there is the shove from Amin.
I call.
You heard him.
No, Amin shoves his last 23 bigs on the draw and gets a call on the draw.
And no problem for Kaplan to risk a 5th of his stack so quickly.
I wish those weren't hearts.
Amin's thinking, I wish you hadn't called, even though he's ahead. Too many cards to sweat.
Turn card is red, but it's the king of diamonds. Ace queen still best for Amin. River card, the tray of spades, a big blank. Amin doubles to almost 4 million.
Well done, Ahmed Amin. What's the capital of Egypt, Lon?
Cairo.
That's where he is from.
All right, into the field for one more hand before we step aside on this busy day 5 of the 2018 main event. To Antonio Esfandiari, he flopped top pair, but he's drawing dead to the flop set of 4s held by Baz Delat at this group's new location.
Yes, Antonio with 0% next to his name.
Antonio raises all in.
Oh, I would say our boy is in deep doo-doo.
Once again, Delat's opponent shoves when he has them crushed, and in this case, drawing dead. Antonio Esfandiari is out of here.
Yeah, take your hibiscus iced tea with you, buddy.
Boom, the lights go out on our buddy in a hand clap. Delat with 2 big moments here on day 5 to inflate his stack.
Wait, Antonio's not coming to the booth, is he? Oh, look, he must have left his kale salad at the table.
Delat with 2 monster moments here on day 5. He now has almost 4.4 million chips. Meanwhile, Antonio Esfandiari looks at what might have been.
57 grand? That won't even cover his bar bill tonight.
In 2012, 2 women made the final 11 of the World Series of Poker main event. Everyone here on their feet awaiting this outcome. Improbably, neither reached the final table. In 2015, Kelly Minkin's main event run ended on day 6.
I got 29th place. I was so devastated.
Will 2018 be the year a woman cracks the main event code? Will it be Kelly Minkin, 3 years wiser?
I have more experience. I feel like I'm more confident in my game, and I'm just ready for the win.
Time's almost up on day 5, so it is time to state your case. The biggest event on the poker calendar rolls on from the Rio All-Suite Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, the footprint getting a little smaller as we move closer to the final table. I'm Lon McCarron along with Norman Chad and Joe Stapleton. 131 players left from the second largest starting field in history. Bart Liebart leading the way, but the chip lead is always precarious. 09 main event champ Joe Catta is a huge story this year.
The kid is smart, friendly, and good. We could all use some of his genes.
Smart, friendly, and good? That could describe Benjamin Polak too.
Some guys have it all. I don't. You definitely don't, but this Polak character definitely does.
Cliff Joseph, he finished third 2 years ago. He's a force to contend with.
If he weren't so smart, friendly, and good, I might root for him. By the way, where are all the villains?
Attorney turned poker pro Kelly Minkin is making a run worth paying attention to.
She is the definition of guts. Never met a bluff she didn't like. Never met a pot she didn't try to win.
Kelly is not in the top 10. She's hovering just below average, but other big names have accumulated stacks. Brink, Yoon, Froelich, all above $5 million as day 5 works to its conclusion. A review of our featured table lineup. Shannon Shore in seat 7, Minkin in 8.
I'm sorry, do we have Hecklin and Jekyllin at the feature table?
Actually, it's pronounced Jekyll.
Looks like Jekyllin to me.
It does. Well, Mr. Jekyll raised it up to $125,000 with pocket deuces. Peter Campo came along with Queen 10 of diamonds. Kelly Minkin as well with 6-5 of clubs. 3 to the flop. Jekyll with the biggest stack at the table. Queen 4-5, 2 spades. Minkin has checked already with middle pair.
Campo wearing a Patriot shirt, which makes him persona non grata in the Chad household.
It does go check, check, check. Third spade on the board. Campo still best with his pair of queens.
Jekyll is a rugby fan. That's okay, unless Robert Kraft owns the team he roots for.
Minkin checked it too. Jekyll. He's got the only flush draw of the 3, but he's got the deuce of spades, so he checks. Campo, 39, from Connecticut, poker pro, Army veteran. He puts together $200,000. Now Minkin had a piece of that flop. Oh, a lot of those greens worth $25K each. That is a check raise to $550.
Minkin is nothing if not active and creative.
We've seen her use that check raise before.
Oh, there's the call fold.
Jekyll folds the pocket pair.
Well, Campo never should have bet there. He opened himself up to the check raise. And then what's he going to do when she fires $1 million on the river?
Campo with the best hand.
And he should have bet there. I'm just giving him a, little grief.
And he does make the call for $350 more.
I wonder if Kelly would buy a backwards hat that was meant to be worn backwards.
9 of diamonds on the end. So Campo is best.
Well, the straight got there. Spade flush already out there. Will Kelly Minkin fire again?
Yeah, with Campo's call after the turn, he had to have some doubts. Kelly now checks again.
And he might be content to check this back.
Yeah, he does indeed. And so his pair of queens will take that pot from Kelly Minkin. Maybe another bullet would have won it for Kelly.
Well, she gave up there, and she's been going in the wrong direction on day 5.
Minkin down, Campo above $5 million now.
Campo smiles. It's nice to win without having to deflate the chips.
Of the remaining 132 players, Kelly Minkin is one of the more well-known. Though not a full-time pro, she plays like one, striking fear in her opponents because, as she has demonstrated, she's capable of anything at any time.
I am leery of lawyers. Lawyers are leery of lawyers, but I am not leery of Kelly Minkin. I admire her passion. I admire her skill. I even admire her sunglasses, which I would never wear, nor could I afford.
What about the V-neck sweaters and backward hats? Do you want to go all red carpet on us now?
Look, clothing is not my strength. We both know that.
Yeah, Norman, everyone knows that.
What I do know, and I know what I know, is if Kelly can bluff a little less, she might get a little more out of this main event.
Kelly Minkin, certainly one of the bigger stories here on day 5, as her move away from law firm life is paying off.
So I took kind of a sabbatical. I parted ways with the law firm at the end of last year. And now I spent a lot of time traveling, playing some poker, but mostly traveling and just enjoying some time off. And I'm currently working with a good friend of mine from law school, and we're planning on opening our own firm. I'm planning on doing mostly personal injury, and then my partner is going to do criminal and family law.
Personal injury? She should be able to drum up a lot of business just from poker players with bad beats.
Kelly woke up with pocket kings here in 3-bet Shannon Shore to $340,000.
Shore famously sustained his own personal injury in 2007 with a 12-foot fall from a ledge in his living room onto an air mattress. Suffered fractured vertebrae.
Queen 9 of clubs is good enough for Shannon to come along. Heads up. The flop is Queen 7-10. Shore likes top pair, but it will come up short to Minkin's 2 kings. Kelly has the action. $285,000 from the pocket kings.
Shore was best man at fellow poker pro Jonathan Little's wedding. Shore says Little taught him why berating weak players at the table is a bad idea. Similarly, I hardly ever berate Lon in the booth.
Shore with 3 times the stack as Minkin.
All in.
And he raises to put Kelly all in. And there's the quick call with the kings. Minkin envisioned double up as soon as she saw those kings, now with a great shot at coming true.
Kelly's reputation probably earned her Shannon Shore's action here. Shannon, a non-believer, and will risk 1/3 of his stack in an effort to bust Minkin.
Kelly Minkin looking at a pot of $2.5 million coming her way. She's a heavy favorite. Shore picks up outs with the open-ender. Minkin picks up a straight draw. Shannon actually picked up 3 more outs than he had after the flop. With Minkin 1 clean street away from a double up.
I knew I should have crossed my fingers before my second marriage.
The river card now. Kelly Minkin's tournament life at stake. And the 5 of clubs misses Shore. And Minkin will score the double up. So Shore takes the tough beat to drop him below an average stack as Kelly doubles to keep her day 5 hopes afloat. A roller coaster start for Kelly Minkin. Big loss, big gain, back where she started. The longtime home of the World Series of Poker, the Rio, housing just 126 players now in the main event. Bart Liebart looking to be the first player to cross the 10 million chip mark. To an outer table, the 11th place finisher in the 2016 main event had all his chips at risk, but John Sin on screen right manages a double up with top pair. Sin based out of LA, still short of an average stack, but still in the game.
Who are the rest of the players at this table? Looks like a group of imposters. Is this the main event?
So John Sin getting his double up handed to him, adding to his career World Series winnings. Exactly how much he'll add is in the cards, as they say.
You know, I honestly don't believe anybody else at this table has ever been to Las Vegas before today, other than John Sin, and I don't even remember him from the 2016 main event.
John Sin, as we mentioned, is not a first-timer at the main event, but he no doubt remembers what it was like to run deep the first time around.
Randy Lack from Houston, Texas. I'm in the energy business.
Raised 90,000.
Day 1, it was cold, and I wore a hoodie. I'm not a hoodie guy, right? And I wore sunglasses because I don't like the light in the room. And so now I'm a hoodie and sunglasses guy because, like, it's working, so I'm not going to change what I'm doing. My wife, for my birthday, bought me a seat. She was like, I'm going to buy you in. I'm going to take care of the kids. Go have a good time.
Wasn't good. Blinds and Nancy's, please.
If it ended right now, it would be enough. I'm not planning on that, though.
I'm Nishan Sharma. I'm from India. I started playing professionally since last 2 years, and finally I'm here. I just keep zero expectation. I don't think about like going deep. My strategy is just to play, that's all.
My name is Paulo, and I'm from Brazil. I'm Christian, and the necklace is just to have a bless. check for you, sir. I'm playing very, I don't know the words in English, but tranquilo. My family is sending good vibrations. Feels great just to be here. I think in the biggest tournament in the world. I think everybody should just enjoy the moment.
Apparently all first-timers now show up with hoodies, shades, earbuds, or backwards baseball caps.
Poker code. All right, get back to our featured table. Been very active here on day 5. Under the gun is Peter Campo, King Jack of Hearts.
Okay, we're all one big community in poker. If you're going to get 2 waters for yourself, you should get water for the entire table.
I agree. Very good point. Campo raised it up to 120,000. He's got about double the average tip stack right now. Minkin with another pocket pair, 8s here, and she makes the call. That's Jamie Kaplan, 9-8 of clubs.
32-year-old from Rhode Island, chip leader earlier here on day 5.
And he calls as well. Andres Jekyll, ace-9 of diamonds. And he comes along. Now to the small blind, Ahmed Amin, ace-5. A lot of people like that hand, but Amin folds. Ricky Pine gets rid of it. So 4 players will see this flop.
I believe this flop will miss everybody.
A lot of cards out there to miss. The flop. Queen 10-7 rainbow. Campo's open-ended. Minkin has the best made hand. Kaplan open-ended as well. Jekyll with ace-high. So Norman, you were 50-50 there.
Now remember Don McHenry's golden rule, a 10 on the flop always helps somebody.
Kaplan has it checked to him. He is apt to opt to commit chips rather than check, and he does. 175,000 sheds Jekyll.
Well, he's not going to shed Campo.
Campo with the big stack. Makes the call of 175. And Kelly gets out of the way, folding the best hand. Tough to carry on with all that action, so we're heads up, a tray of diamonds on the turn. Campo's still best.
Of course, my golden rule is a tray on the turn. Never helps anybody. Kaplan probably not in the mood to slow down.
Yeah, from the little we have seen from Kaplan, he can be very aggressive, and here he goes again. He bets 450,000.
Campo with the right price to call here because he's actually ahead in the hand. King high is best.
And there is the call. Pot building to almost 2 million. King of spades on the end. That should ease Campo's fears a little. Top pair for him.
Yeah, but Campo likely would just want to get to showdown for free to see if his kings are good. Don't know what Kaplan will do. He's a betting machine. He can't win here at showdown with 9 high. Will he wave the white flag, or if you don't have a flag, a handkerchief will do? Nobody carries a handkerchief anymore.
All in.
Wow, or you can go all in, bluffing off your main event if you get called.
Wow. The day 5 bluff shove at the main event. If I still had hair on the back of my neck, it would be standing up.
He's a gutsy young man. Rivered the king, did Campo.
That was a big gulp there from Kaplan. But it's Campo who'd have to take a big gulp to make this call for most of his chips.
Campo thinking, I know I'm best, but I don't want to pay the price.
Show the bluff. And yeah, it's like that's the one hand. Like 9-jack gets there.
Kaplan with a well-earned infusion of chips up to 4.6 million.
Takes a special type of poker nerve to put all your chips in the middle with nothing.
All right, over to our featured table in the wings now. Cliff Joseph, he's on his feet and looking a bit uneasy despite all-in pre-flop with pocket kings. Michael Dyer called the huge shove by Cliff of 3.7 million with ace-king of clubs, so here we go. King's still good.
It's clean for Josephie. 3rd at the 2016 main event.
Still good after the turn.
Only an ace would send Johnny Backs home.
River card is an ace. Oh!
That's why I didn't want to look.
Hey up.
Cliff calling for his own escort to the payout window, and in a flash, the prettiest card in the deck becomes an ugly finish. The Cliff Joseph's main event, a better than average stack looking for an all-you-can-eat special, ends with a severe case of indigestion for Cliff Josephy.
The best poker content on the internet.
Your super high rollerball 7 champion.
Oh, yeah.
Wheels are coming off.
That's the craziest hand I've ever seen. What was that bite?
Go to get.pokergo.com/YT24 for $20 off a new annual subscription.
An ace on the river, and Cliff Joseph's main event is done. Cliff joins a host of big names on the rail as Joe Stapleton documents for us.
It's day 5 of the World Series of Poker main event. Yesterday, day 4, was what a very wise Englishman once called the post-bubble bust-out bonanza. We had a lot of notables go broke yesterday. A lot of names to get through here. Here we go. Eugene Kachlov caught a hanger Sarge. Jake Cody went code bluey. David Yan gonna have to try again. Jamie Kerstetter, the poker gods cursed at her. Patrick Antonius, his presence is erroneous. Johnny Chan is Ghani Chan. Tom McAvoy won't be Backavoy. Bicknell, Bick Nope. Duhamel got pommeled. Jet jettisoned. Neville no more. Rettenmeyer, see you later. Katai, bye-bye. Elias, goodbye-us. Frankie Flowers is pushing daisies. Dominic Panka, no longer in, thank you. Hi Miller, bye Miller. Greenstein, gone Stein. Brunson, Dunson. Ivy took a divey. Hello Dolly, goodbye Dolly. Men win, men lost. Nick Schulman, Brick Schulman. Alan Cunningham, no longer in the Runningham. Unfortunately, I did not have a joke for either Manig Loser or Michael Nowinski. Sorry about that, guys. Back to you.
I'll tell you, you can't traipse with Stapes. He's in good shapes.
Payout still at $57K right now for a bit longer. $8.8 million to our champion this year. The top 9 will win at least $1 million at an outer table. Nikolaos Plattis on his feet. If that hat weren't bad enough, he's got pocket jacks and is all in against Joe Cata with ace-10 suited.
By the way, how long do I have to stare at this guy on the rail with the designer shorts?
All right, here's the flop. No ace, no spades for Cata.
Plattis is safe with that flop. He looks thrilled.
Plattis is good with the 4 of hearts on the turn.
He looks thrilled.
River card is another jack to hammer home the win and the double up through Joe Cata.
Plattis looks like he just lost. And why am I still staring at this guy in the designer shorts?
Cata began the hand with just over $3 million. It was less than 10% of his stack to call the all-in, so it's an easy and short payoff, even while getting a massage.
Yeah, I hate paying out an all-in while getting a massage.
Plattis finally gives us a little smile after doubling up at the biggest game in town. It's still a long way to go to get an average stack for that gentleman. All right, Plattis does not become a statistic, but we've lost a few down to 122 hopefuls now. Let's check in with one of our 2 outer featured tables where Sean Deeb is seated. Sean won his 3rd bracelet a couple of weeks before the main event. He has opened the pot with 7-6 of diamonds. Mike Jukic now with pocket jacks on the button.
I don't know where to start with him, so I won't.
34-year-old from Lynchburg, Virginia. And he just calls, enjoying his first main event cash. Peter Lee.
I'm still looking at Jukic, the sleeveless hoodie. This is something new, and I just don't know how to react. I am frozen with fear.
Lee with ace-queen, 35 years old from Jacksonville, Florida. Biggest stack at the table with over $7.5 million. And he's going to 3-bet it to $390,000 with ace-queen.
You know, if Sean Deeb sticks around, he will be favored in this 3-way pot since ace-queen and the Lon McCarron Memorial Hand are stone-cold losers.
Hey, there's Efro, Eric Froelich, a Hall of Famer. Magic the Gathering Hall of Famer. He folds. And now back to Sean Deeb, who opened the action with 7-6 of diamonds and got blown out of the water. Now back to the jacks and Jukic.
Plus, Jukic went to Radford University, which I thought was a tattoo-free educational zone. I stand corrected.
Jukic comes along for $285 more.
Who you got, Lon?
I got to take ace queen.
I'm taking the jacks.
We are both underdogs, Norman. All right, here we go to the flop finally. And there's a jack and a queen and an 8 all hearts. Jukic with a set. Lee catches a queen and the nut flush draw.
That is a flop for the ace-queen pocket jacks ages.
Step back, Norman. This pot could explode.
Oh, Lee also with a tattooed arm, but he did not go to Radford. Yeah, I think we're about to see a lot of chips get into this pot.
375 from Lee.
Possible flush out there, straight cards out there. If this board were any wetter, it would be surfing in the Pacific. Jukic is not going to slow play his set.
Jukic does raise to 985.
Jukic wants to see where he's at, just like we used to do in the 70s when I played on an oil rig off the coast of Arkansas.
And there is a 3-bet to put Jukic all in.
Well, Jukic has to decide if he's going to play for all his chips. I think there's little doubt that he will.
Is it time to do this? Just $1 million behind for Jukic. Yeah, and there it is. He does call all in. So Jukic ahead, but Lee with a bunch of outs. By the way, Arkansas doesn't have a coastline.
It did then.
Okay. 2 cards to come. 9 of diamonds. Lee loses a 9 of hearts as an out.
Lee still looking for a heart to knock out Jukic.
The river card is another jackpot alert for Jukic as he makes the pocket jacks work against ace-queen.
I tell you, we have seen some very calm dispositions on almost all of our all-ins in day 5. Everyone acting like they've been there before, whether they're wearing a jacket or whether they're sleeveless.
Ace-queen living up to your billing, Norman Chad. Way to go, Mike Jukic, working off some of that adrenaline. He'll sit back down to a very healthy chip stack late on day 5 of the main event. Never a dull moment in Las Vegas. Lon McCarron, Norman Chad, and Joe Stapleton on hand, bringing you Day 5 coverage of the World Series of Poker Main Event, the 2018 edition. And Norman, let me say this quickly before it changes. 2 women are left in the main event, Kelly Minkin and that woman, Natalie Tay. But Natalie's pocket jacks ran into the aces of Michael Dyer. Only a river card can keep Natalie playing.
Dyer about to put the last nail in the coffin for this Lon McCarron memorial hand.
Yeah, that is more like it with pocket jacks. Natalie Tay out of the main event. A very nice run, but pocket jacks are her demise. Michael Dyer with almost 11 million chips now.
Tay, 28-year-old from Malaysia, in her first main event. Quite a run.
Out of nearly 8,000 entrants, a tremendous accomplishment. Well done, Natalie Tay. All right, so for the second time in 4 years, Kelly Minkin is the lone woman left in the main event, and she looks down at ace-queen.
Yeah, nearly 8,000 entrants, only 301 women, though.
Kelly with about 1.8 million in chips, a raise to 120,000. She's in early position.
The last woman in the field.
Ahmed Amin now. Queen, jack of spades in the cutoff, 44-year-old Egyptian living in Seattle now.
Former engineer, he cashed in the 2014 main event.
And from his 63 big blinds, he wants to play. And Amin will commit the chips to call.
Kelly Minkin says she got fatigued in 2015 on days 5 and 6, but thinks she's better prepared for the grind this year.
The button and both blinds fold, so heads up, Minkin has Amin dominated. Kelly Minkin under the chip average. Amin right about the chip average at 3.2 million. They'll see a flop. All undercards, keeping Minkin ahead with ace-queen.
Check.
And she'll check out of position.
Amin is the last married Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute grad in the field.
Come on, I doubt you asked everyone.
160?
That's 160.
He is?
I do my research, sir.
Amin bets 160,000.
He'll take a stab at it.
Kelly Minkin comes along with the ace-queen.
Yeah, she does not like giving up on pots. You want her as your personal injury lawyer.
Pairs the board on the turn. Minkin checks again.
Amin thinks with his left hand, but he bets with his right hand.
I think Alan Cunningham invented that move.
250.
He fires again, 250,000.
Yeah, I like him stabbing at this one again. Will she again spring the check raise with Squadouche?
Kelly has been known to go off the beaten path of poker lines. But this time, she will fold.
Ace-queen is a loser again. I like Amin's game.
Yeah, he takes the pot. That could have gone either way. Minkin playing cautiously with a shrinking chip stack. She sits behind less than half the average of the field right now. Let's go to an outer table where last year's third-place finisher sits, Benjamin Polak. Polak making another run at this title after busting on a very memorable hand just a year ago.
All in. All in.
And he says all in. Now to the chip leader, and he's got ace-queen. He makes the call and is favored to score the double knockout for the title. And now for the flop of the tournament. A king for Ott to take the lead. Both Polak and Blumstein with straight draws. What a moment.
Polak needs an ace or a 9 or he's done.
The river card, a 6, and Ott takes the whole pot. Polak is gone in third place.
Started this tournament wanting to finish in 117.
Polak with pocket ace is called the all-in of that guy. Adam Rood with ace-6 of hearts. And here is the flop, and Polak with bottom set. Rood and a deep hole.
Rood, 34-year-old alleged seafood logistics and distribution manager from Nashville.
Is this the maneuver you do right before you bust?
He's packing up, Norman.
Not a good idea.
One time. On the river,
Turn card.
I'm not gonna say anything, but
7 of diamonds well ended. Rood is drawing dead, bringing his main event to its conclusion.
I would have thought with a $3.5 million score, Polak could have bought some wireless earbuds. Even I've converted.
So Polak now with $4.7 million here on day 5. He ended day 5 last year with $5.7 million.
Everybody got on TV. Show the TV. I want to show that this whole day.
Who is that?
His name's Dan the Valley's Man Chambers.
And why do you wear his...
Probably on the rail if you go get him. Right back there. That's Dan the Valley Man Chambers.
But why do you wear his face?
Because he made a mistake of sending me this picture.
Well, a good story, but no remaining chips. Adam Rood out via Benjamin Polak's full house as the field gets smaller. Benjamin Polak, Kelly Minkin, Joe Cata, 3 big names still alive as we approach 100 players remaining. The average stack about 3.4 million. You've got to keep moving ahead of that average number. Joe Cata right now has about 2/3 an average stack.
I used to be a busboy. We're used to living on crumbs.
Elsewhere, comedian Clayton Fletcher with about half an average stack.
I also used to be a stand-up comedian. They're also used to living on crumbs.
And our boy Brian Altman up and down now with 1/4 an average stack.
I used to have a beard. Shaved it because I kept getting crumbs in it.
Let's get to an outer table. A very juicy board out there with flush and straight possibilities. Tony Miles at the far end has a queen-high straight with an ace-high flush draw. To his left is Steven Federspiel with 2 pair and a straight flush draw.
Miles, 32-year-old pro living in Ormond Beach, Florida. Federspiel living in North Liberty, Iowa.
Miles raises Federspiel all in, who calls off his last chips with 1 card to come.
Federspiel must have predetermined that when he raised the turn, he would call a re-raise. That predetermination was an error. Of course, there are no do-overs in poker, though do-over poker has a nice ring to it.
No, not really. Federspiel comes up empty. He is done.
Let's go, Tony!
Tony Miles, the fortunate one on that board, and he's got over 7 million now.
The Steph Curry outerwear is working for Tony Miles.
He doesn't have a lot of experience at the World Series payout window, but having a nice run so far at this year's main event.
Federspiel headed to the payout cage and then the laundromat.
114th place. Tony Miles acting like he belongs despite never cashing in the main event before. Michael Dyer, the chip leader right now at $10.5 million. The price of poker up to $30,000 and $60,000 with a $10K ante. At an outer featured table on the right, Brazilian Paulino Uemura with pocket tens called the shove of Swiss main event veteran Stefan Uber, who now shows ace-king.
They call this a classic race. If your version of a race is someone starting in front of you, Uemura is a 56% favorite. Uber at risk.
And Uber gets a couple of hearts there to give him a little glow. Uemura still ahead with the pocket tens. Turn card. Deuce of spades. Uemura still good.
Uber needs an ace or a king, or he is whamboozled.
The river card is the ace of diamonds. He gets there with the ace. Stefan Uber with the double up. Uemura gets Barry Greenstein.
Yeah, Barry should get a Portuguese translation of his book Ace on the River out ASAP.
Well, Uber gets to keep his seat, and he will play with almost 1.8 million chips now. Into the field again. A battle of ace-10 against ace-king. Brian Altman at risk with a lesser ace. His 12 big blinds in danger of being scooped up by Nirat Rian.
Altman, 29-year-old Massachusetts pro. Rian from Jacksonville, Florida.
And here is the flop. A bleak flop for Altman. Ace-king still good for Rian. Turn card, another queen. Won't help Altman's case. It comes down to the river.
Altman politely and stoically awaits the river and his main event fate.
The river card is the six of hearts. Rian holds on. Brian Altman's active run is done. He had a ton of chips at one point. Now he is heading for the exit.
Ask not for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for the man who knocked out Phil Ivey.
Rian will stack the winnings now, building his stack to almost 5.6 million.
Long walk to the payout cage.
How would you know that?
I've heard talk. I wonder if the backpack will ever replace the briefcase on Capitol Hill.
Altman with his first main event cash, 14 career cashes at the World Series of Poker. Back to our feature table, the continuing adventures of Kelly Minkin, down to 1 million chips now, folded to her on the button with King 8.
What should I call my backwards hat company?
How about the No Frills, No Bills Haberdashery?
I'll ask someone else.
Kelly with a raise to 130,000, folded to the big blind. Andres Jekyll.
Jekyll with an uplifting T-shirt. I believe those are roses.
10-7, not uplifting. He calls for 70,000 more with a stack of almost 5 million.
10-7? I would unwrap a starburst while I was folding it.
Ace-queen Trey, missing both players. Minkin's king high is the best hand.
Kelly's going to continuation bet here like 100 times out of 100, maybe more.
95,000 is that continuation bet.
10-7 off, sir. 10-7 off. Didn't get the board. Well, maybe he's going to float it.
No, he is putting out a depth charge, a raise to 265.
Nice. Jekyll with a next level read, figuring Minkin is weak, and he is right. Bravo.
Jekyll giving his best Argentine glare to Kelly Minkin now.
All in.
And the radar is fully operational. Kelly comes back over the top, and Jekyll folds.
What the heck? I have no idea how Kelly Minkin moved in there. An incredible play. I will only invite her to my home game if I have a personal injury matter to discuss.
Jekyll absorbs the small blow to his stack and ego. Kelly Minkin trying to rebuild her stack into relevance. She did get some much-needed chips
All in.
after a great and gutsy all-in move. Day 5 of the main event on its last legs here in Las Vegas, as is New York comic Clayton Fletcher.
65, 800,
With ace king and 865 grand, Fletcher all in. Randy Lack has called with ace jack, and the stand-up comedian does what comes naturally to him.
Lack, one of our first timers. We lost Kevin Pollak and Ray Romano earlier in the main event, but we still have one comedian left, Mr. Fletcher.
14 big blinds in the middle, trying to hang on somehow.
No, the guy at risk has ace king. The other guy is not at risk no matter what.
He's ahead with ace king. He's still ahead with ace king.
So far so good, Chad. You're doing fine. Doing fine. Okay, he's got some outs now. He's going to need a 9 or a jack on the river. Else Clayton Fletcher's going to double up.
Is he a stand-up comedian or a poker announcer?
The 3 on the river gives him his double up. Keep your day job, Clayton.
I'm glad you didn't say it, because usually when they say that, then it hits, right? Of course, it's not true, but it feels like it.
Fletcher with his second deep run at the main event in the last 4 years.
Getting back to our featured table, this group has remained intact for quite a while now on day 5. No knockouts under the bright lights. That's fine with Orlando poker player and stay-at-home dad Ricky Pine, who finished 52nd in the 2012 main event. And we talked about the moneymaker effect. Look at this, Norman.
I don't know about this. It's not like it's the Olsen twins.
That's pretty strong. Ricky Pine is under the gun with ace-king.
Raise 140.
Raise to 140.
And from his 2.2 million stack, he's going to raise it up.
He loves being an at-home dad for his 4 kids, Ella, Dexter, Ryan, and Olivia.
Shannon Shore folds to Kelly Minkin, the short stack at the table, now with pocket 6s.
I love Kelly saying, I'm going to win it. She's been very active, maybe too active for her own good.
Yeah, that's a good point. A lot of people, though, just sit back and wait for it to happen, and often it doesn't happen in poker. Kelly is being very active. She does call for 140. Ace-king for Kaplan.
Yeah, well, this ace-king loves applying pressure. A 3-bet here is a given.
Come on.
Wow. He raises all of his chips. Of course, he's got one of the bigger stacks here.
He's got everyone on the table covered except for Peter Campo, who already folded.
Now to Jekyll. 10-8 of diamonds on the button, goes into the muck. Amin folds back now to Ricky Pine.
Pine with almost 35 bigs left in his stack. This has got to be go time. You know, if Kaplan happens to have aces or kings, then so be it.
What would Chris Moneymaker do?
Call.
He calls all in. Minkin folds her pocket pair.
Pens?
Nope.
Had she only known it was ace-king against ace-king. Pine the shortest stack with the most to lose, but it is ace-king against ace-king.
That club is pretty live.
It is.
So is that diamond.
Let's just chop this one.
I'm
No
happy
blood?
with that.
No blood? All right.
Oh, I want blood. I want blood flowing off this table all the way to the poker kitchen. Pine at risk here.
And a couple of clubs for Pine. He's on a free roll.
Said no blood. You're
know,
good.
but-
You're good. You're good.
Okay.
I am free rolling you. And I am feeling a lot better than you right now, but you're good.
Make it exciting.
Peter.
Make it exciting. I don't want you to lose. Just make it exciting.
Turn card. Oh, another club.
I go, make it exciting.
Wow. Poker, what a game we're playing.
Now, if we get another club on the river, Kaplan would lose almost half his stack.
It probably won't be a club, right? Most of the cards are not clubs.
Most of the time it will not
I
be
think
a club.
it's 50-50 with the cards that are left.
I'm not a mathematician, but that sounds wrong.
No, you're a historian.
That's
right.
correct.
One card to come. The river card, a red 4. They will chop it up.
That's dirty.
Check your blood pressure.
Yeah. It's actually not too high right now. We're at 95. It was higher for the bluff.
98.
It'd be higher for the short stack.
So Pine keeps his seat and 39 big blinds. Kaplan with about twice that and a sigh of relief at that Red River respite. No blood, but it was close. Pine and Kaplan do chop it up. Day 5 rolls on. Well, that's what it looks like outside the Amazon room. A torrential downpour in the desert, unlike any that we have seen here in a long time. Mostly dry, though, inside the Amazon room.
Yeah, no matter how hard it rains, you can still always play poker, and you can still always bowl.
Gave you a little window.
Peter, you were right. It was fun that there was a club on the
I felt bad, though. I was like, oh, shit.
Peter was about to be out of here.
I know, I didn't mean
Who was the first person to say players should wait to look at their hole cards? Please, just get your cards and look at them. Do you really want everyone watching you when you peek?
Campo under the gun, raised with pocket fours to 140,000. Campo, one of the big stacks in the room, the biggest at this table. Andres Jekyll now with ace-king. He makes the call. On the button, Mosbeck thinking about it.
If you're going to go with the headband, by the way, I'd also go with matching wristbands. That's next level fashion.
I like that. Suited ace on the button.
I remember a couple days ago they were saying in transition.
Mosbeck does fold.
7,874 entrants, second largest main event field ever. In 06, the year Jamie Gold won, we had 8,773 in the field.
I think it's something more interesting to ask.
Campo and Jekyll will see a flop. 7 deuce 10. The pocket fours of Campo stand tall. Oh.
What the heck?
Yeah, we're having some power issues with that storm.
Well, because there's bad weather.
Peter checks in the dark.
John Nordahl, the floor man with the line of the year.
It's the main event, no lights, nobody moves, Lon. Soviet troops could be marching into the Rio, and I guarantee you, poker would continue.
There are no Soviet troops anymore, Norman.
I know what I know.
So an amazing scene here at the World Series of Poker main event where a power outage has struck the Amazon room and players are frozen in their tracks. Reporters and players using their cell phones when they can to illuminate the tables.
One card's come on the top.
Yeah.
Ta-na-na-na-na.
I wish I would know how you do
10, 43, 4.
Is that
4.
Yeah, I
Benjamin
wish I
Pollack?
Okay, look.
I wish I would know how it works.
Okay, look.
He's doing magic in the dark? That would seem to be an unfair advantage to the magician.
Yeah, he used to perform magic. He's gotten together with Antonio Esfandiari to talk shop. But quite an amazing moment here.
I don't know. I guess I'm confused as everyone else.
What do you think? What do you think is kind of the mentality of the room right here? Do you think guys are thinking, well, maybe I can go home and get some sleep, or they want to get these lights back on?
I don't know. I mean, it depends how soon they can turn it back. I mean, if they can turn it back on soon, I'm sure everyone wants to play it out. But if not, I mean, we all want to probably, not waste time and head home or whatever it may be.
Yeah, I mean, this is eating up sleep time, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's long hours, so some of us don't sleep as well as others. But I don't know. We'll see what happens.
So if they turn these lights on, you're ready to go?
Of course. Thanks.
The massage doesn't even stop.
Well, if they can't continue, they would... and the lights are coming back on, so maybe there's some hope.
Well, I'm glad Men the Master busted already.
I'm going to take you back just a couple of minutes to show you some immediate reactions around the Amazon room when the lights did go out here.
Main event day 5, the lights just went out at Rio.
A unique experience for everyone here. And of course, we are in the last level of action on day 5, so it's possible that if they cannot continue, the tournament officials will just stop play and pick it up tomorrow.
Funny that it just rains in Vegas and everything goes to hell.
This is brand new to me, but it seems like I have the same chips as when the lights went out, so no one took any.
What about the feelings? Still going to be alive day 6 of the main event.
Yeah, that feels amazing. and even having a stack to be able to play and so on. So I'm just looking forward to it.
Well, they have called the day here. Players will get an early evening. Houston's Michael Dyer, the only player over 10 million chips, 109 players remaining.
Joe Caddick, Kelly Minkin, Eric Froelich, and Sean Deeb still in the hunt.
So a unique and early end to day 5, but everyone who has chips on to day 6. So day 5 is in the books, and while the lights have gone out on thousands of players' runs at the main event, established heroes remain at large.
It's me, guys.
And new heroes are emerging. For Norman Chad and Joe Stapleton, I'm Lon McCarron. Tune in next time as day 6 begins, and the action is sure to be electric.